can Florida State have some magical moments? The main focus though is going to be in that transfer portal, and it's crazy, and I'm interested to see how the NCAA thinks about this with the whole NIL going on. That creates a whole different kind of conversation. I mean, the podcasts are going to be flying through the roof. I know you probably already talked about it quite a bit, Mark, today, but it is just going to continue to be one of the biggest topics this offseason, because this was one of the most wild days in signing day history. This was one of the generational talent. Money helped make that decision. And I know Coach Prime is saying that didn't happen. They're not doing any kind of that mess, and there was no money involved. We got to stop. We got to stop it, Dion. I got to stop it, Coach.
Let's just, this isn't 2 years ago where that would have been illegal. So you don't have to pretend anymore. Just call it for what it is. And shoot, these coaches, I watched, I don't know how many coaches talk today, and they were all asked about NIL. And they all said pretty much the same thing. Something we got to educate the players on. We got to be real about it. We got to be open about it. This is what's going on. This is part of the real world. So we can't hide from it. We can't pretend that it doesn't matter to these athletes, because it does. So we got to put our best foot forward and say, this is what we got. This is what we can do for you. Here are the opportunities. Here are the pitfalls, all that other stuff. But don't pretend that you didn't get a player because you had an NIL deal for them. You can talk about all the other stuff and say, he loves the university and he loves his new teammates, and you can say all that other stuff, include that if you want to, sure, but don't pretend that it didn't flip the switch.
Let's don't act like that. Let's don't do that, Coach Prime. So we're going to hear a lot about it. Stuff always leaks. I mean, looking at what Ewers got here was a 1 point from Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
That whole deal there, the NIL deal, however that happened, $1.4 million in exchange for autographs.
Yep.
I mean, it's wild. It's absolutely wild with how this entire landscape of college football is changing right in front of our eyes. And there's a lot of work the NCAA is going to have to do with this. I mean, it's a whole crazy conversation to have for a couple hours, but
yep,
it is wild.
The last bit I'll put on this, and we're going to let you go and let you get set up for your next show, is that I'm not accusing anyone of this, but I'm just saying that money exchanged hands before. Okay. So we all know that. Now we've got something that's legal and above the board and within the rules. But what's to stop a football program, an institution, from saying, okay, we got $2 million from this NIL deal, but we know that this is going on over here and this is going on over there, and they've potentially got some sweeter deals with some more money involved elsewhere. So we as an institution can now we can more camouflage the money that we want to put into this. So we can kind of, behind the back door, we can sweeten the pot for this $2 million deal that we're getting from company X. We can make it a $4 million deal and nobody's going to know. I'm not accusing anyone of that and not saying that it happens, but shoot, if I'm coming up with that, then I just think that could be out there as well. So
yeah, no, it's going to turn into almost like free agency. You see with NFL guys, and it's going to turn into free agency. These guys are going to have managers. It's going to almost feel like that. Give it a year or two. You're going to have conversations of what are you offering better with this NIL deal? What are you offering better to my player here?
Yeah.
What are you offering better to my brother, my son? What's the better offer here? And, schools are going to have to compete with that now unless things change. And I think there's might be another conversation that NCAA legal teams, state laws, they're going to have to go through and look at.
Yep. Yeah. I am all for it. and I believe people should be able to make a buck in this country. I am absolutely for it, but there needs to be some kind of restrictions and just some guidelines placed on it to rein it back in, because look at NFL free agency, and that's what everybody's comparing it to. There are guidelines and restrictions to NFL free agency. Not every player in the NFL is a free agent. You can look at your favorite team's roster and okay, we got 90% of this roster's locked down for next season. Okay, we got to deal with these free agents, okay? Because guys sign contracts, they're tied to the contract, and when the contract runs out, then they become a free agent. But that's probably 10%, 15% of the league each offseason, maybe. Mm-hmm. It's not everybody. Yeah. Everybody can become a free agent in college football. Mm-hmm. So somebody needs to get a handle on that.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
Any player, name any player in the country. Tomorrow they could wake up and look at the sky and think, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go somewhere else. Okay, transfer portal, boom. Mm-hmm. I didn't like somebody shot me a dirty look on campus. I don't like that. I'm gone. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You can just get up and go.
Yeah.
There should be something to that scholarship that means something that's going to nail it down for. I still want them to be able to have the opportunity, but there's got to be something done to make it a little bit more concrete, like a contract.
Yeah.